Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 15 tight end rankings for week 11. Richard, you ready?
Let's do it.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas. All right, before we get started, Richard, tell me how we did on last week's rankings.
If we take out Zach Ertz, who was hurt, Gerald Everett, who was hurt, and Njoku, who didn't play, we hit on 6 of the remaining 12 tight ends. It was a tough week. Not as brilliant as usual, but we expect to rebound in week 11.
Before we get started on this week's rankings, let me just explain what you should expect in our video. Richard's going to give his rankings. I'm going to use our own stat machine to see if you agree or disagree with each of his rankings. And we hope that this video helps you with your own lineups. All right, Richard, line them up.
All right, first, buys, Dolphins, Seahawks, Bucks, and Jaguars. At number 1, we have Travis Kelce, who will be at the LA Chargers. He's got the top quarterback. He is the top target for said quarterback. Travis Kelce continues to be our number 1 tight end. And number 2, Mark Andrews, who will be home against Carolina. If he plays, we know what Mark Andrews can do. Hopefully he's healthy. And number 3, Dallas Goedert at Indianapolis. Another question mark. If he plays, there was an ugly play on this Monday night. We'll see what the condition is for Dallas Goedert. And number 4, Dalton Schultz at Minnesota. I keep saying it. If Dak Prescott is playing and all is well and Schultz is healthy, Prescott loves to look Schultz's way. And number 5, TJ Hawkinson, home against Dallas. The Vikings and the Cowboys are going to put up a lot of points, and TJ Hawkinson will probably get his first touchdown as a Viking. At 6, George Kittle at Arizona. We know he's a stud, but San Francisco loves to run. We'll see. We'll see what the usage is like in week 11. And number 7, Pat Freiermuth, home against Cincinnati. Again, Pickett's going to have to pass a lot to keep up with Burrow, and he likes throwing it to Freiermuth. And number 8, Greg Dulcich, home against Las Vegas. Dulcich didn't have a good week 10 after having a few pretty good weeks, but everything coming out of Denver is positive about Dulcich. Everybody loves him. They expect big things from him. So we will feed into that hype. And number 9, Cole Kmet at Atlanta. Cole Kmet showing signs of life, scoring 2 touchdowns in week 10. And guess what? Plays the Falcons.
Hold on. Cole Kmet showing some signs of life. He's scored for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah. So maybe not the right choice of words. Cole Kmet continues this hot streak, and he has a great matchup in week 11. And number 10, Tyler Higbee at New Orleans. Tyler Higbee had an okay week 10. We expect him to be the target of whoever's going to be quarterback for the Rams, especially if it's not Matt Stafford, because again, new quarterbacks that are learning offenses, they rely on tight ends. At number 11, Dawson Knox, home against Cleveland. He's part of an explosive offense. He scores, every other week. So we'll give Dawson Knox the benefit of the doubt here. And number 12, Kyle Pitts, home against Chicago. Pitts, man, huge disappointment, mainly because Mariota doesn't throw the ball much. But Pitts, the unicorn, will continue to rank him very low, but he'll continue to get ranked. And number 13, Jawan Johnson, home against the LA Rams. Johnson had a good week 10. We'll see if that momentum continues. Taysom Hill's been a huge disappointment the last couple of weeks. Jawan Johnson's been carrying the load at tight end for the Saints. And number 14, Gerald Everett, home against Kansas City. We hope Gerald Everett's healthy. If he is, we know Justin Herbert's going to have to pass a ton to keep up with Mahomes. And number 15, the aforementioned Taysom Hill, home against the LA Rams. Here's a guy I really loved who was, coming through with at least a touchdown in most weeks, has given us goose eggs the last 2 weeks. So yes, he is losing my trust. He probably should be losing your trust as well. And those are your top 15 tight ends for week 11.
All right, before we go, let's just look at your rankings compared to some others. I don't really see any big difference here other than Taysom Hill. We already know you're kind of questioning Taysom Hill, but give us a little bit more thoughts on him before we go.
No, it's just that I love the fact that he's a threat to pass, rush, receive, and they were using him more in the flow of the game. But the last couple of weeks, his usage, they've used him very sparingly. He hasn't done much. So at this point, the risk is really killing us. So I don't know. I use him in a lot of my leagues. I'm definitely going to start looking for other viable tight ends.
Thanks for coming on here and sharing the top 15 tight end rankings for week 11. Don't forget, you guys can always like and subscribe, and Richard's happy to answer some questions in the comments section. Richard, any parting words before we go?
No, absolutely. I want to help.
Those fantasy good fellas.
The ruling on the field.
Those fantasy good fellas.